power of Market America and the unfranchised system makes it possible for anyone to succeed who otherwise would not have had a way to do it.
We've created a solid foundation for which we'll continue to grow.
One of the most important things you can do is keep the business simple.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. We will continue to make the impossible possible. Groundbreaking products and delivery systems, incredible technological advancements.
Companies don't make people successful. People make companies successful.
There's something very special about this community. Yes, we're economically driven. Yes, we're entrepreneurs. Yes, we're in it to make money and to help others make money. But we also develop a community. Everybody in the world wishes they had what you have. You need to tell them about it.
Be the best version of you. It all starts with you.
Market America is an internet digital marketing and product brokerage company with a universal shopping cart. That is what we are.
Anything you could want, you can get from shop.com. We are always, as a company, identifying and adapting to paradigm shifts in the world.
I knew that this was an organization that paid very close attention to detail and was committed to what they said they were going to do.
I am an ambassador for Market America because I believe in the model.
Be great, be exceptional, be extraordinary, be authentic, be disruptive.
There's a new economy that you're going to tap into. Take advantage of it. The time is now.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I think we'll even have a few more people jumping on. I started the video a little early so that people could catch it as they came on. It's good to see a couple of the smiling faces. The rest of you, I assume, are eating dinner or doing something like that while we're talking. My name is Jim Winkler. I'm from the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, as well as Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm coming to you from right now. I've got a background in sales and corporate management. Have been an unfranchised owner for 28 years. Can you believe that? It'll be 29 years in August. I started this business I'm going to share with you because I wanted to get some products at cost. How's that for making it really simple? And then thought maybe I could earn a little bit of money. And then from there, learned what I really had in my hand, and my wife Lisa and I have just grown it to larger levels. We're now what you call executive field vice president, which means we've earned anywhere from $45,000 to $63,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. We're also $1 million club members, and I tell everybody, you know, we work to do that. But the question I always ask people is, you're probably working at something. You know, are you working at something that can continue to build a great business for you? And with that, I'm going to jump into the presentation. You've got enough background on me. If you're waiting on somebody to join, you may want to give them a text, let them know we're starting off right now. Otherwise, here we go. These are our founders, Lauren and JR. You heard from both of them on the short little clip I just did. And JR, unfortunately, passed away a few years back. I think it's 3 years now, believe it or not. And, you know, as much as we miss him, he put in place an incredible system, and Lauren has done a fantastic job as our CEO, and really bringing us into a very current age and current business with what she's done. And one of the things I love about the company is the longevity of the corporate team members and how long they've been there, with most of them having been here 25, 30, 35 years, and some of them, right from the very beginning, 34, I should say, we're 34 years old as a company. We'll be celebrating this year. So it really, and people say, why is that important? It's stability. It's people understanding the business. As a company, we were founded in 1992. We were headquartered in Greensboro, North Carolina. We have operations in 10 countries. We've done obviously 34 years in business. We have over 40 exclusive brands. And you can look at all the different awards on the bottom. They're great. I just say the one on the far right to me is the most important, because that's our Better Business Bureau, an A+ ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And we've won something called the Torch Award in Central North Carolina 3 times. Now, what that award is it goes to every company participates that's in that area. So think of all the companies in an area, and one company gets picked for doing business with integrity, for doing business the correct way. We were the only 2-time winner of that award. Now we are the 3-time winner of that award. So it just says a lot about the way we do business with ethics and the way we build. And you can see here, we're built on product. I'm a firm believer, if you don't have good products, you're not going to have a good business. And we have products that drive people back to the business, back to ordering over and over and over again. And the company took that and put those products into a system for entrepreneurs to create additional income stream. An income stream that you can earn on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis. And we provide consumers with an easy way to shop. We provide them with personal service. And we do it through results-driven technology and the power of people. One of the big things I looked at when I looked at this was it's great to make the extra money, right? I think we can all use some extra money, but I was really looking at it and saying, you know what I want? When I understood how the plan worked, I wanted to build ongoing income. I wanted to build something that if I needed to take a month off, it would continue to pay. If I needed to take 6 months off, it would continue to pay. And it's crazy when you fully start to understand what that is like, to know that if Lisa and I had to take the next 7 months off, based on what's happened in the first 5 months, we would out earn what we did all of last year. Most people are scared to death of missing a week of work, of missing a paycheck, and trying to figure out what to do. So not only are you creating additional income, you're creating, it's almost like a living insurance policy for yourself while you're doing this. The company is what we call a product brokerage company, which means that we don't do the manufacturing. We work with manufacturers to make products and services for us. And why is that important? Because it allows them to do what they're great at, which is manufacture, and it allows us to do what we're great at, which is market those products and then come up with what's hot in the industry or in the world. And because we're not the manufacturer, it makes us agile. It means that we can move quickly if a trend changes. And I think probably everybody on here knows trends change quick, don't they? So fast. And then as an internet marketing company, each person will receive a personal e-commerce and social commerce platform that allows you to build a scalable e-commerce business. With that, so what does that mean? So I have my own shop.com site. Mine is shop.com/Winkler that I can share with people. I also have 6 other sites. In fact, the one I use the most is my isotonics.com/Winkler site. It means my site is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It means if I'm sleeping, I can still get paid. On Monday morning, I woke up and you think Sunday night, nothing's happening. And I had 2 orders from customers when I got up on Monday morning. I thought, what a great business that I'm getting orders while I'm sleeping, but that's because we have the website and we have everything set up to be able to do that. Now, as a customer, there's no cost to register as a customer. So that's really important. And then you can see all the different brands we have. If you're a current customer, you may have used some of them or know some of them. If you're not a current customer, then you may not have heard of some of these. And what I would recommend is if you haven't tried any products, it's a great way to try some and learn a little bit more about our business. See that I'm circling here right now, which means it's not going to allow me to move forward right away. I'm not sure why it's doing that. There we go. Um, when you look at what's happened over the years, the economy's really changed dramatically. And even if you look at the last 10 years, I think people have a need for immediate income more than ever before. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, it's just wow, people need some extra money. There's been a huge rise in online sales and technologies. I know for us, we rarely go in a store. Most everything we do online. And you know what we do when we look for products? We look at reviews. We talk to people we know if we're going to a restaurant. And that's really what one-to-one marketing is. And one-to-one marketing is replacing mass marketing. Mass marketing's, what you used to watch all the commercials on TV. Nowadays, everybody fast forwards through them if they even have them. So it's changed dramatically how people buy, and we've stayed with that buying change. And then the gig economy and entrepreneurship has really, really helped us from a business standpoint because now people are looking for something. And you know what they're looking for? They're looking for something legit. I don't know about you guys. You look, you can see all these ads for make great money now, do this, click this. And I'm always just like, wow, it all sounds great. But the truth of it is, very little of it works. And that's why those companies or those people are only around for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and they're gone. And here you're looking at a 34-year proven system that incorporates all these trends together to provide a great business. And I've always said there's never a better time to look at it. But one of the really wonderful things is the CEO Club, which stars our CEO Lauren Ridinger. She's really the mentor to all these different women doing businesses. And if you do have Amazon Prime, I would highly recommend you do a watch of the CEO Club. There's 8 episodes. She's the only person that's in every single episode that goes on. And she's really, like I said, a mentor to the other people because she's got such great business experience with building our business. Now, you heard me talk about a franchise like an unfranchise or a term unfranchise. To me, first time I heard it, weird term, right? But it makes total sense now because what we did as a company is we took the best of franchising. What's the best of franchising? Why do people pay millions of dollars for franchising? Because they've got systems, they're standardized, they've got marketing tools, they've got training systems, they've got products that people are looking for. Ours, it says market-driven products and services. I think it's bigger than that, consumable and unique, so that people are reordering them on a regular basis. There's branding and increased visibility. It's unbelievable how much attention the company is getting because of Lauren and the CEO Club. And then, unlike a franchise, so now let's go, what's not like a franchise? No franchise fees or royalties, minimal startup expenses. Most people spend way more on a phone than it costs to start this business. You can earn the day you start. There's great tax advantages with our business. April 15th just came by, and the advantages you get with a business that you can take anywhere are tremendous. There's no large monthly overhead. I'm coming to you from my home in Arizona, and then in the summer I'll be coming to you from my home in Wisconsin, and that goes right back to some of those tax advantages. But no offices, no employees. One time I was on a flight. It was funny. I was in first class. I was sitting next to a guy. And he said, "What do you do?" I said, "I own a business." And I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I own a business." And he said, "Tell me a little bit about it." And I said, "Well, it's different than probably your business." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "I have no employees. I have no payroll. I carry very little to no inventory." And he's like, "That doesn't sound fair." And I said, "Well, it's fair. The only difference is you haven't heard of it yet." And I went on to explain how we do it because we do everything by drop shipping. I don't write checks out. I don't pay payroll. If somebody on my team earns a commission, the company pays them. So I don't have to deal with any of that. So there's no overhead, there's no restrictions. I started it part-time. I had a very demanding job when I started this. I was a vice president of a company, a vice president of sales and marketing for a postcard and souvenir company. I traveled 3 out of 4 weeks. I worked typically 50, 60, 70 hours because nobody cares how much you work when you're traveling because you're not home anyway. So I was able to build this while doing that because I had a desire, and that desire was to provide additional income that would give me a choice in the future to be home because I had three small kids at that time that I didn't want to see grow up with their dad being a good provider, but never at home. 6 months into doing this, I was able to walk away from that corporate job. And it was one of the best days of my life. Scary in some ways, but one of the best because now I was a full-blown entrepreneur. And that was 28 years ago when you think about it. So to me, there's little risk. The biggest risk for a lot of people in life is doing nothing. People get paralyzed by fear. They get paralyzed to take action. And this gives you the ability to take action, but to have a team that's going to help you and to have a business that's already set up and knows the way to do it. This number here shows over $12 billion in estimated accumulated retail sales. Now, that's a big number for the company because a lot of times people think, oh, is this a small little business? $12 billion is not a small business. But then when you look at it, you see $6.4 million paid back to the unfranchised owners that contributed to that. And then you see thousands of unfranchised owners who are earning on a weekly basis, whether it be retail or commissions. And then there's almost 500, if not over 500, unfranchised owners who have now earned in excess of $1 million in commissions. And I got to tell you, these pictures you see right here, these are the people that are part of that. And, I know a lot of them because I've been around a while. They're great people. But when you compare them in life, you've got everything from people with multiple degrees. I always say they have more degrees than a thermometer. They're so smart. And you've got people who didn't finish high school, yet they're both in our $1 million club. One of my friends once said, you've got this great diversity of people. He called it from Yale to jail. And he said everybody, if they can follow a system and have a good heart, can succeed in this. You have to put effort into it when you follow that system, but it gives you a real head start because it's already proven, it's already been done. Now it's just you doing it. And when you look at the business, one of the greatest things you can run into is community. I'm a huge believer in the fact that a lot of times we're not around the people we should be. How many times are you around people who create a negative environment? And that's what maybe you grew up with it. Maybe you married into it. Maybe that's a friend group. This environment, this community we have, you know why they're so happy, so positive, is because they have hope, because they can take control of their future instead of somebody else controlling their future. And that's really a very big difference for what most people have in this world. Unfortunately, when you take a look at what's happened in the world, a lot of people have followed what we call a 45-year to 50-year plan. It means they started working somewhere around the age of 20 to 21. They're now working to 65, 66, or 70. And at 65 years old, the statistics show 17% of them have passed away. Now, how sad is that? Because I think everybody at 21 thinks I'm going to retire at 65 and I'm just going to take cruises and take vacations. Yet 17% of the people don't make it there. And we probably all know somebody, unfortunately, in that category. 25% are still working. Now, if you're working because you want to, I love that. I think it's great. If you're working because you have to, I don't love that. That means the system failed you somewhere along the line. Then you take a look, over 53% of the people are flat broke, meaning they're dependent on bank loans our government assistance to get by. Over half the people at 65 worked 40 some years and they're broke. And then I wanted to know this category. I wanted to know the 5%. I wanted to know the people that were in there, because to me, that's where it really shined of, okay, what do I need to do to be in that category? And if you take a look at that category, 74% of the people in that category are entrepreneurs. So what does that mean? It means that they started a business of some kind. I'm going to go further, and I'm going to say of that 74%, most of them own a business that does not own them. I don't know if that'll make sense to you, but sometimes we all know people who own a business, but the business owns them, right? They can't take a vacation, they can't get away, they can't do anything. I wanted a business that was open 24/7. I wanted a business that did not own me. And that's what you're looking at here tonight. Now, what we have is a 2 to 3 year plan. You got to admit that already sounds better than the 40 to 45, right? And in that 2 to 3 year plan, what you're doing is you're building a foundation. You're building a foundation for a business you can continue to grow. And I'll tell you, when I started looking at this, what I wanted to be able to do, I wanted to be able to make $1,000 extra a month. Once I figured out that not only would I get my products to cost, that not only if I developed about 4 customers, my products would be free, but then I figured out I could develop this extra income. I said, man, I would like to have an extra $1,000 a month. And then it became, what would you do with an extra $1,000 a month? And everybody on here has different things they'd probably do with it. For me, it was paying off debt. It was saving money for retirement. It was being able to travel more, because now I had time. When I finally was able to leave my job, I had the time to travel, and I had saved money to be able to do that. So whatever it would be, I want you to think, what would I do with an extra $1,000 a month coming in? Now, what I want to tell you is, you see this, it says 45-year plan, 2 to 3 year plan. It doesn't mean you have to make a choice. I always recommend to people, keep doing what you're doing. You may love your job. It's maybe paying all your bills. That's how it was for me. I didn't hate my job. I hated traveling and being away from my kids all the time. I loved the money I made because it paid all my bills. But my business, my 2 to 3 year plan, which I did in 8 to 15 hours a week, that's what built my dream. So sort of the first one took care of the bills, the second one built my dream, and then eventually allowed me to create the freedom that I wanted to have in my life, the time. And everybody I know wants time freedom, but to have time freedom, you have to have money to take care of things. There's 5 steps to building a business, and you can see those 5 steps right here. I'm going to go through each one, and that'll give you a really good idea of how our compensation plan works. So when you apply to the business, that's the first thing you would do, step 1. You can do it 2 ways. One way is as a sales rep, one way is as an unfranchised owner. As a sales rep, there's no cost, and you can see what you get with that. I'm going to take you through as an unfranchised owner, because an unfranchised owner is $149.95. So it's about $150. But it gives you so many more things. Yes, you can buy your products at cost. Yes, you have the ability to retail them and make retail money right away. You can participate in a global training meeting seminar system. In fact, I'll talk about one at the end of this presentation. I'm flying into Wisconsin for an incredible training this coming weekend. You'll get your own shop.com personal site. You'll get 7 additional websites to market your business. You'll get a marketing app that goes right onto your phone that you have the ability to send out all material you need to send out. You'll get management reports to run your business. You'll get the ability to participate in a compensation plan and earn weekly commissions anywhere from $300 to $3,600 per week in commissions, on top of what you do from a retail standpoint. When you subscribe, you get all the different things here, and I've talked about a number of them right away. But one of the things you see it bolded on here, it says coaching and mentoring by experienced franchise owners. And my question to you would be, a lot of times if you want to do something, I see these gurus online all the time, and they want you to pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and they'll teach you their system on how to be successful. Here, you start a business, and you've got a team of people that want to work with you to help you become successful in your business. In fact, here's what they want. If you're a guest tonight, the people who invited you, you know what they want? They want you to start your business in the future, but they want you to be more successful than they are at the business. So think about that. They want you to do, even though you might be part of their team, they want you to do better than they do. Now, is that possible? Yeah, it is. When I started, in fact, the first thing I ever asked the guy who showed me this, I said, I got one question. It's a deal breaker for me. Can I make more than you? He said, yes, you can. I hope you do. He went on to be $1 million earner with the company, earned over $1 million. We've gone on to earn $13 million with the company. So we did 13 times better. Now, why is that important? I was part of his team. He started 2 years before I did, but it wasn't based on when I started. It wasn't based on being part of his team. It was based on what I did. It's what I call fair, and it's what you should look at as fair, because you have the ability to do that. Now, when you build a business, you have to have good products. So step 2 is creating business volume through using and retailing our products. Now, business volume is a point value, you can see that in your right-hand corner, assigned to all of our exclusive products towards commissions. It's typically 70 to 80% of a dollar, meaning if somebody spends $10 on products, they're going to get 7 to 8 business volume points. Or if someone spends $100 on products, they're going to get 70 to 80 business volume points. I cannot give you an overview on every product we have, because there's hundreds, almost into the thousands of exclusive products. But what I can do is I can say, look at the categories. Health and nutrition. How big of a category is that? That's a huge. Here's the question I always ask people. Do you think that category will grow in the next 5 years? The answer is obviously yes, it's going to grow. Well, don't you want to be part of something growing? I want to be part of what's hot, not what's already done. We have something in there that is very unique. You can see this little packet that I'm holding up. This little packet is a powder-based supplement. We have almost 30 of these powder-based supplements that you then take the powder, you add water, either 2 to 8 ounces, depending on which ones you're taking, and then you drink the supplement. There's no binders, there's no fillers, there's no coatings. What it means is you absorb what you're taking, because we always say it's not about taking vitamins or taking supplements, it's about absorbing supplements. That is a unique marketing advantage we have that makes it so easy to talk to people about our supplements. Now let's look at other categories. Weight management. Look at what people are paying for weight management. Age management, personal care, skin care, cosmetics, jewelry. Then you move into performance. One of my favorite products in that entire area is our electrolyte product that we have. We also have great shakes in there. We have an antioxidant called OPC3, which is just tremendous. It's been the #1 seller for 30 years in the company. Home care products, baby and children's care products, pet care, automotive, internet services, financial services. And you might be thinking, do I have to know everything? No, you don't. One of the beauties of our business is you can learn it as you're going. What I did, I was a customer, so I was already taking some products. When I became a business owner, I just added some other products I'd wanted to try. I could now get them at cost. I changed some of my buying habits. Instead of buying Tide, I bought my own products to do my laundry with. If I liked it as much as I liked the products I had been paying money to a store that wasn't paying me, I used my own because it paid me. Does that make, hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But I'm going to play a quick video, which will give you some, again, ideas on our products. Hopefully I'll play this in just a second. I feel like my computer's lagging just. Then I'm going to play one more video that'll go into some of our the isotonic lines that I talked about earlier.
Stop swallowing pills that go nowhere. Meet Isotonics, superior vitamins that millions have trusted for 30 years as the best on the market. Unlike most supplements, Isotonics works with your body's natural hydration process for maximum results with an isotonic formula. That means you're not just taking these vitamins, you're absorbing them. Get 95% bioavailability, up to 8 times faster than typical capsules. These are the science-backed ingredients with fast-acting results your body deserves. Simply mix the powder with the recommended amount of water, drink, and go. It's that easy. No binders, no coatings, no junk. Just high-quality nutrients delivering results you'll feel. If you're tired of wasting money and time on pills, then drink to your health with Isotonics.
Yeah, it's so good. One of the things that I always say is if you breathe, you should be taking an OPC3. And if you're a guest on here today, please look into the OPC3, look into the daily essentials, look into some of the different products. So there's 3 ways we can earn: cash back on purchases, retail profit, and then unlimited weekly potential commissions on team sales. We can also, our customers and we can earn cash back because we're partnered with over a couple thousand stores that you probably already shop at. And if you shop through them, I downloaded something called Shop Buddy onto my computer, and it then gives me cash back when I shop there. So if you see, this is 30 out of almost 3,000 stores, but it gives you an idea of some of the stores. You can create BV with personal use and your own shopping, with customer sales and their shopping, and then through all these different things that we have available to help with. And we've got great tools to help you do that. Now, step 3 is qualifying your business. So when you start, you get what's called a business development center. That's what this is over here. And that's really a spot on a computer system that tracks everything you do in Greensboro, North Carolina. And you get a left side and a right side. So you can see you have a left side and a right side of your business. And you qualify it with 200 business volume. Now, what's 200 business volume? 200 business volume is the equivalent of buying some different products to get started. It'd be like a box of these is worth 40 business volume. It's a 1 month supply for one person. It'd be like, buying 5 boxes of this, or picking and choosing whatever you want. But the key is when you qualify your business, which you want to do right away, it now gives you the ability to accumulate BV towards commissions. And you can see those banks filling up. Now, if you don't want to pick and choose the products, which some people don't, some people say, hey, I just want an easy way to get started, you can do it with what we call a fast start kit. That is about $450, $449.95. It includes the $149.95 subscription fee. It has 2 months of our UnFranchise management system in there. It gives you over a $600 value. It gives you 8 of our best-selling products as well that you'll get when you do your ordering. So a lot of people will opt for that because it saves you $150, $200 to do it, and you're getting a lot of the best things. The people who do it the other way are typically customers who know exactly what they want to get. Either there's not a wrong way. Both get you qualified. Both allow you to start your business. Now, once you've started your business, you want to activate it. So we're already step 4. Activating it means I want to grow it. I want to earn commissions. You can't earn commissions to activate it. You can make retail profit. You can accumulate points once you've completed the first 3 steps, but you can't earn commissions until you complete the 4th step. That 4th step involves identifying 2 people that you want to work with who also want to be business owners with you. One on the left and one on the right side of your business. So when you do that, a lot of times people say, well, what do you think about when you're activating a business? Well, for me, what I thought about when I wanted to activate my business was, who are the people that I always wanted to work with, but I didn't have the ability to work with? Who are the friends that I've always wanted to be in business with, but we were in different maybe categories in our lives. Who did I know that was a hard worker? Who did I know that was honest? Who did I know that was just a good person? People ask if I had any criteria, and it was, yeah, you got to be an honest person, and you got to be willing to work to achieve more. And that's really what it came down to when I looked at the business. But basically, what you end up doing is you end up identifying. And I'm sorry, my computer's frozen up here a little bit. You identify those two people, and then you help them identify two people. Now, once I find two people who get started, what do I want to do with them? When I identify Mark, I want to help Mark generate some customers. I would say 5 to 10 customers. Why 5 to 10? 5 to 10 because if I can help him generate 5 to 10 customers, what's going to happen is he's going to be making retail money right away. I want to help Kate. What do I want to help her do? I want to help Kate identify 5 to 10 customers. My fives don't look too good right there. 5 to 10 customers. And then I want to teach them to teach Megan, Sarah, and Rick, Kevin, and Ann and Ben to do the same. Now, I will tell you, I've had people who've had over 500 customers on my team. But that's not normal. Those are great retailers. The normal is people generate 5 to 10 customers in the first few months, and then maybe they add a customer or two a month to what they're doing. And over a period of time, they generate a really great customer base. So our step 5 is really just teaching, manage, and supporting others on the team. And that's the next thing we do. From here, it gets really interesting because you might know Mark, who you see on our screen, but Mark, and when I started this, I didn't want to bug people about a business. But what I did want to do, and I told this to all my friends and people, like I was, take a look at it, because I tried to tear this thing apart. I tried to find any way it won't work if you put in 5 to 10 hours a week, and I can't do it. I even read the entire career manual on the company before I went full time with it. And what I realized, I think, pretty quickly was if I introduced Mark was not going to be he was going to lead me to other people. Think about everybody, even your best friends. They probably know 300 to 500 to 700 people you don't know. Now, if Mark knows Megan, my job now becomes to help Megan identify some people that she would like to have as customers, identify some people she would like to work with in the business, and teach Mark how I'm doing that while I'm working with Megan. So here's what it does. Mark and Kate don't feel like they have to do everything, because that's a real problem when people think they have to do everything, right? They feel like, holy cow, if I have to do everything, I'll never learn how to do it. It's almost like a work together and learn program, but if it goes well, they're already making money before they know exactly how to do everything. I'm going to try to, there we go, good, it's moved over for me. And you can see how people lead to people. Now, I got to tell you, I'm watching this presentation and I'm thinking 2 people, so if you're taking notes at home, what are key points? It only takes 2 to start earning commissions. That doesn't mean I'm saying stop at 2, okay? What I'm saying is it only takes 2 to start earning commissions. But what I am saying is as it continues to grow, you might identify a 3rd or a 4th person. And in this example, you can see Matt. If you brought Matt into the business, Matt would go down to the bottom of the organization. When Matt goes to the bottom of the organization, everything that Matt does comes back up to help the rest of the team. And your team gets 100% credit on all the volume that Matt generates. So let's say Matt generates 500 business volume through retailing and personal use. Chris gets 500, Megan gets 500, Mark gets 500, you get 500, and your team gets 500 business volume points. Now, if you identify Erica and bring her in the business, the same exact thing happens. Well, here's what I got really quickly. What was happening is if I bring in more than 2 people, the people I place below support the people that are already on the team, and they lead to more people. The business searches down to infinity, meaning there is no levels, there's no percentages, there's no breakaways. If you've ever heard any of these terms, it searches 100 levels down. In fact, we brought one of our sons in the business recently. We had to place him 200 levels down in our business because it was one of the first open spots. Yet we had every incentive to help him because everything he did and everything we did to help him helped everybody in between. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. It's a really huge point on how the business works. Your senior partner also has the ability to place people down below into your business and then come back and help you as well. So again, 3 big points. Takes 2 people to get started. The volume search goes down to infinity with it. Third point is you get 100% credit on the volume. There's no percentages or breakaway. The fourth point is that volume adds up 30, 60, 90, 365 days on a rolling calendar. So that's the fourth point. You know, a lot of companies I looked at, you got penalized at the end of 30 days or at the end of 90 days. Here, volume just keeps adding up. So what am I telling you? I'm saying if you can find a company with 2 of those 4 points I just mentioned, you found a great company. And if you can find one with 3, I've never seen it before. I've never seen one with all 4. And that's what makes us different. When people say, oh, I've seen something like you before, I say, no, you haven't. You never have seen anything like this. I have researched hundreds of companies now, and nothing it does those 4 points I just mentioned. So how do the commissions get earned? Every day the company adds up the points that are generated from you and your team. On Friday night at midnight Eastern, it takes a look at your business. And when it looks at your business, it says, hey, these kind of volumes are being generated. And the first time you go through the pay cycle, you can see with very small volumes, you're able to earn some small commissions. So by the time you get to 1200 BV, you might have earned 3 commissions. It's direct deposited into your commissions for a total of $300. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the part where I got confused. I'm like, I sort of get the BV thing, but it seemed like a foreign language. So I'm going to keep it real simple. Remember I said a box of these is worth 40 BV, okay? So what if I could teach Mark here to generate 10 customers who could move, I'm sorry, my pen isn't writing very well today. I must be out of ink. If I could find 10 customers who could purchase 1 box of these per month. By the way, if they like this product, what do they do at the end of the month? They order it again. 10 customers ordering 1 box of these is 400 business volumes that are being generated. Now, here's the next thing. What if Mark uses 100 BV? So if Mark uses 100 BV of product, not only is he generating 400 in retail, he's using 100. That now means Mark is generating 500 BV. If Mark's generating 500 BV, and I can teach Kate to do that, and we can help these other people do that. And again, I'm going to repeat, how many customers did I say? 10. Not 100, not 200, not 300. 10 customers who reorder a 40 BV product. With 3 people on a team, I'm now earning an ongoing 3 people on each side of that business, an ongoing $300 check per month. Who would like a $300 commission deposited every month into the business? I know I would. And what happens is that volume, every week it looks on Friday. When you get another, so it sort of just sits there. It's like money in a bank account. You've already been paid with the volume, sits there. When you get another 300, it gets that much quicker. 12 and 12 on each side. Then you get another $300 commission. When you get 1,200 and 1,200 more, you get another $300 commission. When you get 1,400 more and 1,400 more, you get a $600 commission. So what's happening right now? Going 0 to 5,000 on each side of your business you have now earned $1,500 in commissions. When you've earned $1,500 in commissions, this volume then resets back down to zero and it starts all over again. Let me ask you, this is the $1,000,000 question. Do you think it'll move faster or slower the second time? Well, obviously it's going to move faster because you got more people on your team. What are these people doing? They're doing the exact same thing you're doing. They're looking to identify customers. They're looking to identify business partners. Two people looking for two people will go so far. 20 people looking for two people will go faster. 200 people looking for two people will be like a rocket ship taking off. So that's how the business builds. If you understand leverage, people can have leverage in two different ways. You got $1 million stocked away in the bank. You get somewhere where you can earn 5%. You make $50,000 a year, whether you do anything or not. Problem is, a lot of people don't have $1 million in the bank. If you can't have money leverage, you have to have time leverage. Time leverage means you've got to make people, you've got to get leverage from their time to support your time. You've got to give leverage by training, teaching, and helping them to get leverage back. And that's what you do. So if you have a team of 10 people who work 10 hours, you're now getting 100 hours into your business, 100 hours into your business with 10 people. If you have 100 people who work 10 hours, you're now getting 1,000 hours into your business. How many hours are you working? You're still working 10. You haven't increased your numbers. You've increased the leverage that can be generated. As the group grows, your income will get faster and faster. You can get to the point it goes 1,500 every 3 months, 1,500 every 2 months, 1,500 every month. So now you're making 500 a month. You're still working 10 hours a week. Then it can be 1,500 every 3 weeks, 1,500 every 2 weeks, 1,500 every week. The reason it's getting faster is more and more people doing a little bit, adding up to a lot. Or you might find some home runs. You might find some people who generate a ton of volume. You might find somebody like me who sees this, gets it, and can't sleep at night. Says, man, I can do this. I can make this happen. As that keeps growing, and I said you can get to $1,500 a week, that means one business can pay you $78,000 a year. You also have the ability to earn bonuses on each business. Every time you get to the point where you get to 5,000 and 5,000 BV in a week, the company, not a week, excuse me, when you cross that barrier, the company will look at your business. If there's somebody on the left and somebody on the right who also gets to 5,000 and 5,000 BV the same week you do, you get a $600 bonus from the company. Now I want you to think about that. It doesn't have to be people you personally sponsor. It just be somebody on your team. So does that mean that you have every incentive in the world to help everybody on your team earn money? Because the more people making money, it helps you earn bonuses. Now, you start looking at $600 bonuses on a regular basis. $600 a week in bonuses would be over $30,000 in bonuses. It means you can earn up to $2,100 a week. It means you can earn up to $109,000 in a year. And for a lot of people, you say, hey, if I could earn that much, I'd be as happy as can be. The company added something about, I think it was last August. They added for the people who really go out and say, hey, I'm going to build this thing. And they hit something called Master UnFranchise Owner. That means they sponsor 2 people in a quarter. That means they produce between themselves and their customers 3,000 of these BV in a quarter. It means they attend our major events. We have 2 a year in Greensboro and in Miami. And it means they buy tickets to those events. The people who do those simple things I was already doing, the company said, you know what we're going to do? If you do those things and you achieve what we call Master UFO, we're going to double your pay. Instead of $300, we're going to give you $600. Instead of $300, when you get to 24 and 24, we're going to give you $600. And so instead of being able to earn $2,100 on a business, you now have the ability to earn $3,600 on a business. I mean, it's incredible that the company basically said, if you want to build, we're going to pay you more. Now, if you want to make more than that, and a lot of people do, I know I did, $3,600 a week is $187,000 a year. That's a great income. But I looked at it and said, why can't I make more? You have the ability to have a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth business. And if you'll notice in this diagram, they all are down below the existing business. So you have the ability to start a new business below where you are, which supports the people on your team. And you could have one person order or one person create volume, and that volume could come up and pay everybody that's connected with that person. It's an amazing concept. There's times that Lisa and I will place an order into a business and get paid on it 3 different times. You also have the ability, so this is really cool. The first 90 days you bring somebody in the business, you have the ability to place excess volume you generate into their business. What does that mean? Let's say I'm a great retailer. I generate an extra 500 BV every single month. I can place that down into Matt, who I personally sponsored, and give him credit on his left or right side. So he's closer to his 1,200. So he's basically getting that volume for free because he was smart enough to join with me. Why would I give away my volume? Because that volume goes to Matt, it goes to Megan, it goes to Mark, it goes to my second business, and that 500 business volume points comes up to me anyway. So why would you ever keep it, give it to somebody else, help them get closer to commissions, and it comes back to help you as well while you're doing it. Again, it's an incredible compensation plan. My biggest fear is when I show it is that I don't do a good enough job for people to really understand it, because I think if everybody understood it, they'd start about 5 minutes after they got done with this presentation. The person who invited you is thinking, will this work, excuse me. You're thinking, can it work for me? The person who invited you is thinking, are you the right person for the business? I can't answer that, and neither can you probably. I can only give you one guarantee, and that's if you don't try anything, everything's going to remain the same. And I can ask you one big question. If it remains the same, is it good enough? Someone asked me that a long time ago, and the answer was no. I looked at what I was doing in my life and said, if I'm doing that 5 years from now, I'm going to hate what I'm doing. Luckily, I found this. And every year I reevaluate and I said, man, if I'm doing this 5 years from now, I'm the happiest man alive, because I love this business. I love what I do. The only way I make money is if I help other people make money, which I call psychic income. It's a great way to do things. So if you gained any interest tonight, do a couple things. Schedule a follow-up, maybe try some products, attend and see this again, or give the business a trial run, put some other people in front of it. But what I will tell you is you have to do something in life. One of the things you could do, you could take one of our, we call them a 60-second quiz, and it literally takes 60 seconds to take it. It's a health quiz. And that'll give you some ideas on what you can do. But I want you to do me one big favor. Text whoever invited you tonight. Please text them tonight. Say thank you. Because I'm going to tell you, we train people to, please don't invite people you don't like to this presentation. Because if you invite people you don't like, they may want to work with you. So only invite people you want to work with, because we get to pick our own team. Secondly, rate yourself on a 1 out of 10. A 1, 2, or 3 might mean I'm not really interested. Thank you for inviting me. I might like to try some products, but the business isn't for me. And that's really perfect. Thank you for being on. If you're a 5, 6, or 7, it means, hey, I'm interested, but I'm a little bit confused. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Book something to get your questions answered and see it again. If you're an 8, 9, or 10, maybe you're like I was. It's like I don't get everything, but there's like I do everything risk versus reward. There was like no risk to doing it, and there was huge upside if it worked. So what have I got to lose? Let's get this thing rolling. There's no better answer, but please text whoever invited you. One of the things I would recommend, if you live anywhere near the Wisconsin area, get a ticket to this regional convention. It's going to be one of the top ones that I've ever seen or participated in. I'm flying back for it as a fan, not as I'm speaking, but I'm not going in as to speak. I'm going in because I want to be there with my whole team, and because I want to share these other speakers and learn from them. So that's something great you can do. That's part of our training system. You know, I'm going to end it by saying thanks for being on with me tonight. It's been great. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope I answered some questions for you. And please don't forget to text whoever invited you. And I look forward to meeting you in person in the future. So have a great rest of your evening and enjoy it. And we'll see you in the very near future in person. Okay. All right. Take care. Enjoy your night. Bye, guys.